And we do now know, I believe we have family member testimony, that the death occurred at approximately 1 in the morning. Around 1 in the morning, Joni passed away. It seems to be from a family member, and if you could fully express that, JT. Please keep my extended family in your prayers, they are much needed. Being with Joni was like being with family. She passed away at about 1:30 in the afternoon after a long battle with breast cancer, which she had kept secret from the public, and other issues. I was first cousin with Marcus Lamb. He was a part of my family, and I loved him very much. My dad and Marcus's mom were actually quite close. The assurance of an eternal home in heaven is something for which I am very thankful. Your generosity toward our family is greatly appreciated. People tend to overlook the fact that those who work in ministry or on television often have extended families. Furthermore, it seems that the fact that Jonathan is a member of the extended family has been overlooked. And I am profoundly saddened by the challenges he is currently facing. He felt immense grief, guilt, and a squandered chance to have realized anything was truly wrong. In my opinion, Rachel, as the second child, should shoulder the brunt of this responsibility. She failed to issue any warning to him. So far, she has remained silent. And I get that there's tension in the family, but hey, rumors fly faster than water. An occurrence that would later cause shock waves to ripple through thousands of Dyer watchers occurred around 1:30 in the morning, while the majority of the Christian world was asleep. Not because Joni Lamb died. It was already common knowledge. The truth will be revealed by a family member later on, which they were unaware of. Many Christians were saddened by the passing of a prominent figure on Christian television for a long time. They viewed videos that paid homage. Funeral oration was heard by them. Joni had become a household name thanks to decades of broadcasts, which they fondly recalled. Everything seemed to be explained. Tragic health issues led to the death of a much-loved Christian broadcaster. Nevertheless, a surprising turn of events ensued. An individual posing as a descendant of the Lamb family reached out via message. The storyline shifted abruptly when this relative revealed that, unbeknownst to the audience, a struggle had been going on behind the scenes. An allegedly clandestine conflict. A conflict that, if verified, prompts a query from numerous advocates. Why was no one aware of this? Emotional, intimate, and incredibly illuminating were the words spoken. The relative insisted that Joni had been secretly battling breast cancer, not in the spotlight, not during charity events, and not on television. Her death was caused by a combination of factors, including an unreported cancer struggle, according to the statement. Many viewers were taken aback by the revelation because they had witnessed her on television for months, beaming, hosting shows, discussing faith, encouraging families, and praying for others, all while supposedly bearing a burden that nearly no one outside her inner circle was aware of. Because of that, a great number of people have been taken aback. It was never discussed publicly, and it wasn't just that she was unwell. The Dyer have long inculcated in their audience the value of prayer, community, and bearing one another's afflictions as members of the body of Christ. The question arose among Joni's fans when word got out that she may have been secretly battling cancer. Who needs to know? Was it the desire for seclusion, safety, or some other factor? Another detail followed. The sick relative didn't limit themselves to talking about it. Their estimates of the time of death were shared. At about 1:30 in the morning, the narrative took on a very personal tone. This is not a news article, a press release, or a company announcement anymore. People started to picture themselves as a family, huddled together in the wee hours of the morning, bracing themselves to face their worst fears. The story became more relatable and personal, but the mystery was further heightened as this family member divulged personal details, which many viewers perceived as a departure from the official facts provided by Dyer. And that void raised inquiries. Concerns that are becoming increasingly audible. In Joni's last months, what precisely transpired? Who was informed about the disease? Why did no one bring it up in public? The most crucial question is, who was absent from those last moments? The focus started to change from Joni's illness to someone else as the story progressed. The omission of her son, Jonathan Lamb, has become a very emotive aspect of the whole dispute. The news about those last hours has just added to the sorrow for many. Jonathan Lamb was supposed to play a role in Dyer's future for a long time. Although he worked for the network, he was more than that to many viewers. The Lamb's kid, he was born to Marcus and Joni. The community had watched the boys grow up in the ministry's shadow. This is the young man who took charge at some point. The one whose future contributions to his parents' legacy were widely anticipated. Unfortunately, that bond had grown severely strained by the time Joni Lamb reached her twilight years. After her demise, the public is once again focused on that bitter separation. Not only were there disputes inside the family, but this has stunned many of the followers. Disagreements arise in every family. People are stunned by what happened in Joni's last hours. Jonathan was not summoned to his mother's side before she died away, according to remarks made public after her death. Consider that for a second. A woman. With her son. Those last moments that will never be the same. Furthermore, he was not given the chance to bid farewell, as stated in those accounts. That one detail has become one of the most tragic aspects of the story for a lot of viewers. Since the majority of people can relate to the anguish of broken relationships, it doesn't matter where you stand on the Dyer controversy. It hurts to believe there is always a second opportunity, to feel the ache of unspoken words. And then realizing that opportunity has passed. There was a strong correlation between Joni's hidden illness and Jonathan's predicament as word of it circulated online. If her cancer battle was being kept secret, her loved ones must have pondered who was aware of how bad her illness had gotten, how short her time was, that the battle was in its last stages, and why no one had heard about it. Word of the inquiries traveled fast across online communities. Emotional replies abound in the comment areas. Some spoke out in support of the family's right to deal with the crisis in private. Some people think that mending broken relationships within families, particularly those involving a mother and her son, should be the first focus for those who are terminally ill.